की जय। श्री श्री पंचतत्व भगवान की जय। जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मैया की जय। गौर निताय की जय। Hare Krishna, very, very warm welcome to everybody for this morning's Japa Yajna. Firstly, on behalf of my leaders, I'd like to thank all the Japa leads who came in and performed their service nicely. So, as always, in the morning, we get on to the best part of the program, which would be the Srimad Bhagavatam, sharing of Srimad Bhagavatam verse. So, uh, before that, I'll just do a short kirtan and we can move on to the program. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Chana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachaari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Gandharvika Giridhari Gandharvika Giridhari Gaura Hari. Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo Anantadev Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo Anantadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jayo Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Vigna Vinatha Jayo Nrsingadev Vignavinath Jaya Nrsingadev Nithai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nithai Gaur Hari Bol विघ्नविनायक नृसिंहदेव भगवान की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। पतित पावन गुरु महाराज की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Before, before even I start, first I would like to thank my leader for giving me this service. That way I get purified. And I seek blessings of all the Vaishnavas before I start this program. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutiraye. नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी. Reading from text 4 from Canto 1, chapter titled The Passing Away of Bhishma Dev. We are reading verse number 4. Someone is free. I humbly request you to repeat after me. Yes, thank you, Mataji. Drishva nipatitam bhauma
दृष्ट्वा निपतितं भूमौ
divya chatum evamaram
दिव्यश्चतुम् एवामरम्
prane muhu pandavas bhishma
प्राणे मुहुः पाण्डवा भीष्मा
sanuga sahachakrina
सानुगाः सहचक्रिणः.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much.
Word meaning and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Seeing him, Bhishma, lying on the ground like a demigod fallen from the sky, the Pandava king Yudhishthira, along with his younger brothers and Lord Krishna, bowed down before him. We'll read the purport. Lord Krishna was also younger cousin of Maharaj Yudhishthira, as well as the intimate friend of Arjuna. But all the family members of the Pandavas knew Lord Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. The Lord, although conscious of his supreme position, always behaved in a humanly custom, and so he always bowed down before the dying Bhishma Dev. And if he were one of the younger brothers of King Yudhishthira, I'll seek the prayers of all the Vaishnavas, Guru Maharaj, and all the previous acharyas. Om Jnana Timiram Dasya Jnananjan Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Shri Gurum Shri Yudapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Shri Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dhinabandhu Jagatpate, Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostude, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vishabhanu Sute Devi, Pranamami Haripriye, Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this verse, verse number 4 from the ninth canto of ninth chapter of the canto 1. Drishtva nipatitam bahauma divyaschatum Iva amaram prane muhu pandavas bhishmaha sa anuga sahachakrina. Seeing him, Bhishma, lying on the ground like a demigod fallen from the sky, the Pandavas, King Yudhishthira, along with his younger brothers and Lord Krishna, bowed down before him. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Matajis and Prabhujis. So, we have entered another fantastic chapter after going through one most wonderful chapter where Kunti Maharani's prayers were there, and Mathurapati Prabhu, His Grace Karuna, Gopal Krishna Karunadas had, taken the first few verses. Now we move on to fourth verse. Though the purport and translation is small, we can discuss some wonderful points from this. So one of the verses in Chaitanya Bhagavat says, describes Sukadeva Goswami. I'm not able to remember the verse, but I definitely know the meaning. All four Vedas are like dahi. What Sukadeva Goswami is doing is churning his curd so that butter comes out. So the essence of dahi is butter, right? In the same way, the essence of all the Vedas is Srimad Bhagavata Purana. So Sukadeva Goswami, in the previous chapters, he had churned the butter and took the essence of the chapter of Kunti Maharani. We all enjoyed it. Now he's going to do the same and share about Bhishma Pitama. Okay. So in the last verse, yes, So we saw Krishna took all the Pandavas. How? Not simply, very well decorated, like the emperors of the world, and brought them to Bhishma Pitama. Why did he do that? He wanted to please Bhishma Pitama. Okay? And why? Because Bhishma Pitama wanted to see them as kings ruling the world. Okay? Whereas in this verse, we see that he bowed down to Bhishma Pitama. Now, see, Pandavas bowing down, which is expected out of them, right? Uh, because of such glorious life of Bhishma Pitama. But here it says, even Krishna bowed down. He's Supreme Lord, he's Bhagavan. He also bows down, right? So this is very interesting, right? So we should not get perplexed, bewildered. We'll just discuss these 2 points nicely, right? So if you notice in the purport, he says there's another point which says he falls down like Devasat from the sky, right? So we shall discuss these 2, 3 points. Like you quickly, very quickly, I'll say Bhishma Pitama, you all know, was one of the 8 Vasus, right? Adish and Ganga, when they were attending Yajna in the heavenly planets, they both got attracted. And Brahmaji noticed this. So he gave them a sharp. He says both have to born in earthly planet. So he was born as Shantanu Maharaj and Ganga Devi. So both had to come down to earthly planet. Somehow, by the inconceivable will of the Lord, the 8th Vasu, he got inspired and engaged all the 7 Vasus to steal Kamadhenu from Vashishta Rishi's ashram. So all the 7 Vasus also got inspired. Because of all this, they also got cursed, right? So you all know that. So then they requested Ganga Mata seeking blessings. So I'm not going to repeat that elaborating, right? But post Shantana Maharaj getting married to Ganga, what she did was she kept drowning all the 7 sons. They were all 7 Vasus. When she was drowning the 8th, somehow Maharaj Shantanu could not contain. He stopped her from drowning the 8th son. So the 8th son is Pravas. He wanted to spend a longer time on earth, which is why he's one of which is why he instigated the other Vasus also to steal. Anyway, now that is how Bhishma Pitama is literally a demigod, right? So when Shantanu requested Ganga Mata, please take the 8th son, you train him, right? So Bhishma Pitama got trained in heavenly planets, right? So what do we do in current scenarios? Most of them do undergraduate, postgraduate, then they go ahead and do PhDs, then postdoctors, double PhDs. Some people even are excited with triple PhDs. But how did Bhishma Pitama study? We can see that he studied all the 4 Vedas, all the Shastras. From whom? I'll just tell you the names and you will understand, right? He studied from Bruhaspati. We all know that he's guru of all the demigods. Then he studied political science from Shukracharya. He learned all the Vedanta Sutras from Vashishta Rishi. Then he got all the divine weapons from Indra. Then he learned spiritual science from Sanat Kumara, right? What are the duties of Yadus? He learned that from Markandeya Rishi. And military science, he learned from Parashuram. Look at the names which I was just mentioning. The best of the teachers in various topics of the study, right? He was so, I mean, if you can say that he was well educated is an understatement, right? He got the best of knowledge from all of the people. Remember, Parshurat could not defeat him. That is the kind of blessings he had got. He's so responsible. He was so effulgent. What a personality he was, right? So naturally, he had a lot of names. We all know Devavrita because he was blessed by demigods. We know him as Gangaputra because son of Ganga Mata. Shantanu, obviously, because he was son of Shantanu Maharaj. And he also earned it as Pitama. Why? He was a grandchild, right? Then other few names also I could hear from a lecture. Mahamahim, the greatest of the greatest, was also called Gauranga, right? That is very interesting. This name is very interesting. He was also called Gauranga because he was very fair. right? Shvetashvir, as he was always fighting the side of Dharma, and Ashtavasu, because he was the eighth Vasu. So, how was his life? Bhishma Pitama's life was filled with sacrifice. What kind of sacrifice? He was not a king. However, he was responsible for maintaining the kingdom. He was like acting like a king, even though he never got the position of a king. He had the wrath of Amba. You all know that who later on became the reason for his death, as he did not get married. But practically, he took care of four generations, right? Kuru dynasty, right? Shantanu Maharaj initially, then it was Vichitravira and Chitrangad, then it was Dhritarashtra and Pandu. Okay, he also took care of them, and then the Kauravas, Pandavas. Practically four generations he took care of, right? So his was a sacrifice, right? Entire life. So it is very apt when in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is described that he was a demigod falling from the sky, right? Now, no wonder the Pandavas bowed to him. Now, the other point of discussion which we said in the beginning, why did Krishna bow down? So, in Srila Prabhupada writes in this purport that Krishna takes the role of a human being, right? He follows etiquette. What is the shloka which we can recollect from Bhagavad Gita? Yad yadatari shishtishtas tattat evo evataro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. And whatever standards he set by exemplary acts, then all the world pursues. That's the exact translation. Now, Krishna says, if you don't do it, nobody will follow. And this will lead to ruination of the entire world. That's what he says in the church chapter. So you also know that he is a cousin of Yudhishthira Maharaj. He used to bow down to him too. That is why, he bowed down to Bhishma Pitama. Now, Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, uh, that's what he says. Now, I had heard Radhanath Swami Maharaj, right, says that Krishna bows down to devotees. He says, in fact, he worshipped those devotees. We have wonderful examples, Sudama Vipra, Lord Shivji ka puja kiya. So here bowing down to Bhishma Dev, why was it he did, Krishna did? It's because of the love for him. He's his most beloved devotee, right? So it's not an ordinary event, right? It's not some elderly person passing away. Here, all the demigods are present. The most prominent ones, you could say, right? All the rishis were present. There was Vyasadev, there was Asishta, there was Asita, Devala, Bharadwaja Muni, Narada Muni. There was also Parvata Muni, who was always with Narada Muni. There was Sukadev Goswami. So all these prominent people were present, right? So that is one of the reasons this was very, very important. And we all know that he was going to share some of the best principles, religious principles. So the last point which we will try to discuss here is what are the great qualities of Bhishma Dev, right? That promoted the qualities of Bhishma Dev we look at, right? So first thing which comes, the moment we say Bhishma Dev, what comes to all our head? His vows, right? So the top three, which if we can just go through quickly, he said that he will not become the king, right? So why? Because Satyavati's father, he wanted his daughter, which was fisherman's daughter, to become the king. As Bhishma Dev was almost designated prince. So the second point was um, like they had asked us, if you're not becoming the king, what if your son becomes the king? So Bhishma Dev immediately said, I will not marry, right? I will remain as Naishtika Brahmachari. Now, the third point, throughout his life, he said that I shall protect the kingdom, whoever is the king of Hastinapur. So these are, very, very special vow. Now, if we can see what makes it special, we will just discuss a few more minutes. So we also take vows, right? The best thing is when His Grace Mathurapati Prabhu was always saying in the beginning of New Year, right? Don't take these these vows so that you can break it in the end of the week. Ideal, in those days when I used to go to the gym, our instructor used to tell, the first 6 days don't come to the gym. All this regulars used to say, because it is filled with all the New Year resolution people, right? And then after a week, they will stop. Then you can start coming, right? So Bhishma Pitama's vow was not like that. He followed it 100%, right? We all should understand that Bhishma Pitama was a royal personality living in a palace, right? With wealth, women, all the facilities for sense gratification around him. Now, why am I saying this? Because it's extremely difficult one when has all the facilities for sense gratification and you have to voluntarily say no, right? Yes, it is very, very important. Another aspect he was a Kshatriya. So there was this natural inclination to enjoy this kind of sense gratification when it is available and it's always around us. Then, as I said, it is always very, very difficult to voluntarily say no. Not just for few days, right? This voluntarily, abstaining was not for few days, his entire life, right? What does uh, Arjuna say in sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita? You all know that. You all. Chanchalahi mana Krishna. What is he saying? Arjuna says, I'll control the wind, not my mind. It's very difficult to control voluntarily the sense gratification, right? Sometimes we read this very often, Prabhupada quotes, right? Devi Isha Gunamaya, Mama Maya Duratsaya. So this is an understatement of Krishna. It's impossible to overcome Maya for us. That's why I call it another statement. We can see how difficult it must have been for Bhishma Dev. And the beauty of it is that why is it possible to why was it possible to control the senses by Bhishma Dev? Mam evayam prapadite. That is, Bhishma Dev was always absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna, right? And that is why he was keeping up his vow. That is what made him special. In our parampara too, we have this such illustrious example, our own Haridas Thakur, who kept his view. He had, although he had temptations from the prostitute, Maya Devi herself came to distract Haridas Thakur. Okay, how did he come over it? Just by taking shelter of the holy name. He was chanting the holy name, right? You all know that. I'm not going to say that details now. So it's very important for us to maintain the vows, especially those who have taken initiation. We share a few vows, right? I agree it is very difficult to maintain the vows, right? How is it that we are all able to do it? We are doing it because of the blessings of all the senior leaders, His Grace Mathurapati Prabhu, our Yatra leader, Varadaraj Das, right? Our Guru Maharaj, beloved Gurudev, and all the previous acharyas, right? Without their blessings, we can't ever chant the holy name, right? As long as we are in the association of the devotees, we may be able to chant and keep up all the vows, right? And one other last quality which Bhishma Dev's, it is, we have seen that, in many others have done it, but Bhishma Dev also had this surrendered mood to Krishna. Okay, because of his surrendered mood to Krishna, he was able to keep up all the vows. Let's see the surrender for just a few minutes and we'll close the right. So we know that there is 26 qualities of a Vaishnava, right? In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a description. 25 of them are secondary qualities, and there is one only primary qualities, which is surrender to Krishna. That is primary. Srila Sukadeva Goswami is bringing up this quality. You all know that Bhishma Pitama was one of the Mahajans. So, I recollect again when I heard this lecture, he says, one of those devotees used to tell Srila Prabhupada, yes, Srila Prabhupada, there are 12 Mahajans and you are 13th, So Srila Prabhupada had this cool answer, yes, if you follow instruction nicely, you can become the 14th Mahajan. Anyway, the surrender aspect, if we have to see it, a few more points. It was very difficult to follow his vows. He was suffered always because of the envy of Kauravas. They had for Pandavas, right? Because he had to always see that. He suffered the plight of Pandavas. He couldn't see. He was very, very beloved to them. He couldn't see Draupadi's Vastrabharan, many other things which Pandavas went through, right? And he always tried to counsel Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. They always ignored him, right? Obviously, right? Because they were demons. I mean, at least Duryodhana was qualified demon, well qualified demon. So he had personally fought. He had to fight with Pandavas and against Lord Krishna. Do you think he was happy with that? No. He had really had to go through all that, but yet he was very, very surrendered. No, as if this was not enough. Always he was misunderstood. He always had the feeling that I'm going to be misunderstood for generations to come. So like this, he was going through such difficulty, but yet he was surrendered to Krishna. Now lying in the bed of arrows for almost 48, 50 days, so much suffering he had to go through. So, for us, it will look as though externally he was showing loyalty. Internally, it was that Lord's Adbhuta Karmana that we had seen in a couple of chapters earlier, right? So Supreme Lord was always in the heart of Bhishma Dev and was telling Bhishma Dev to be on the side of Kauravas. Why? Because Krishna wanted to say, even if it is the best of the warriors, he will get defeated if you fight the adharmic side. So Bhishma Dev simply, acted like a puppet, is the right word. Stayed with Kauravas, surrounded by demons, right? So we also, whenever we get difficult, situations, like immediately we blame others. Although we know that is not, it is because of us this difficulty has come. So we should accept that this is given to us by God, right? Instead of blaming situations, people sometimes even blame God. But what Bhishma Dev went through, all this suffering, right? We can find a small parallel here. Even Srila Prabhupada had to face so many difficulties after going to the Western world. Things got stolen, no support, even attacked his life, okay, without any success in the first few years. Then he just continued the mission. Why? Simply because it was the instructions of his Guru Maharaj. He persisted, and because of his persistence, the Lord reciprocated and gave the credit of spreading the holy name all over the world. So what a reciprocation it was, right? Same way he reciprocated with Bhishma Pitama also, right? This is a small parallel I thought we should, compare now. So actually, when we keep referring to Bhishma Dev as, he takes the vow. Very frankly speaking, actually, nobody asked him to take the vow. He voluntarily took the vow, and I kept repeating that it was so difficult when you take it voluntarily, right? Same way, Srila Prabhupada, when he was in Vrindavan, Radha Damodar temple, he could have had a nice life with chanting his own name, but chanting the holy names. But what did he do? He decided to leave India in a ship to fulfill the orders of his Guru Maharaj. So this is the comparison we have in such an illustrious Acharya. What a parampara we are in. Every example practically matches with any of the examples you taken from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhishma Dev, lying in the bed of arrows, gave this discourse to Yudhishthira Maharaj and others. Similarly, you see that even Srila Prabhupada, in the end of his, in this material world, he was lying, you can say bed of arrows in the sense comparison, because he was also in the deathbed. And what was he saying? He was giving discourse on Srimad Bhagavatam, right? We must have all seen this small video. So as a gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, we must read at least his books, right? So many books is written. This is the least we could do, right? Then Srila Prabhupada obviously went back to spiritual world. Here, Bhishma Dev is also going back to spiritual world. So From this verse, I would like to thank everybody because I got to glorify Bhishmadev, Srila Prabhupada, and a few points I shared. I would humbly request you all to pardon me if I've made mistakes. And if there is any glories, it is all because of Srinir Vaishnavas. I heard all their lectures. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Patita Pavan Gurudev ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. I ask all the senior Vaishnavas and the Vaishnavas present, if you have any comments, you can add. And humbly request Mathurapati Prabhu also to add final words. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu, for nice class. So we will wait for the participants' responses. Hare Krishna. So
Hare
kindly unmute, and if you have really heard Prabhu's class, you can come out with some points. Any questions? You are welcome.
Hare Krishna, bro.
Hare Krishna.
So the aspect Krishna is bowing down is a very significant point here.
Yes,
So as I heard from senior devotees,
please.
there are two things I just it come across in my mind now.
Please tell me.
So one is spiritual determination of a devotee.
Okay.
The first point is spiritual determination of a devotee. Krishna will recognize personally. So
Krishna
when the devotee has determination,
okay,
recognize personally.
okay.
So when you see whole Mahabharata, the conversation between Lord Krishna and Bhishma Dev is so personal. You will not see outside, like in common area, in social orders, they will not discuss or they will not show their this thing Bhagavata and Bhakta and that reciprocation. But Bhishma Dev has his own devotional with Krishna. It's very personal. So we can see this Bhishma Dev's devotion keeps his devotion as a personal project. But as a public project, he does all the social orders, following all dharmas, which is prescribed in Vedas. He is very strict in that. But this personal determination to develop devotion toward Lord and serving Lord indirectly and making as a, what, like you said, as a puppet, is all personal project. That's what at the last he revealed that no, see, whatever you're seeing as a Krishna is as a friend, is not your friend, is a Sakshat Supreme Lord. In Bhishma Suti it comes in future.
Okay.
So two things. One thing is spiritual determination, Krishna personally recognized. Second thing is bhakti is our personal project. It's not to show more. We can learn this from Bhishma Dev. As a preaching aspect, we have to show as a etiquette, but actually bhakti, real bhakti develops inside only. But we most of the time trying to project, I am a devotee, I am doing this, all these things. But actually bhakti is a personal project. You see, whole Bhishma Deva, he never showed before the Vishnu Sahasranama. You can see anywhere Bhishma Deva they did pranams to Krishna. You will not find all these things. But he knows Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. So because of that nature, Krishna has to bow down in front of him. How you are maintaining this spiritual determination? So that Krishna I recognize personally. So this is my comment.
Yes,
Anyway, I heard from Maharaj lecture. I just want to add.
Thank you so much for these two wonderful points, Prabhu. Spiritual determination and bhakti is a personal project. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Anybody else? It's 6:47. Quickly.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes.
Prabhuji, very nice, Prabhuji. Bhishma story we have to learn, and we can improve our bhakti day by day. Prabhuji, Bhishma Dev also comes under Mahajan, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay,
There is a particular verse where all the 12 names is mentioned. I'll try and send that reference to you, Mataji.
okay, thanks, Prabhuji. Nice class, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Mataji. All glories to all the senior Vaishnavas. Yes. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Radha Subhupika
I have a
Mataji.
question, Prabhu.
Huh?
So I have a question.
Yes,
So
Mataji.
you mentioned telling that how after the initiation we receive the blessings of the spiritual master.
Yes.
But after initiation, it sometimes becomes a little difficult to, follow the vows we have made or even chant. Even chanting becomes such a challenge because I personally feel it that after initiation, chanting is a little challenging. So, in spite of receiving blessings from Guru Maharaj, so how is that it becomes a little difficult and challenging, and how can I overcome that?
Yes. Mataji, if you notice, I had initially only told it is difficult. Okay. So there's no doubt about it. Now, it is difficult when we approach it ourselves. I shall conquer, I shall do it. Whereas it's beautiful when we take shelter of all our previous, our leaders, our mentors, okay, express this problem, right? I'm very sure, right, that with the loads of experience they have, they always even can plan your, even with the time management they can do. But primarily, one thing, Mataji, for everything, it is you need to keep the association of devotees. Again, as I said, association is not just coming in the Zoom or staying with, okay, I'm always with devotees, I eat with devotees, I walk with devotees. No, you have to reveal your mind, ask, of course, not to everybody, whomever your mentor is, because he or she knows exactly what's your schedule, what's your challenges, how is your background of the house. Accordingly, he will have a separate solution for you. So a solution given to me may not work for you, right? Because my house could be different. Okay. So that way they will definitely work out. I agree it's challenging, Mataji, but we should never doubt the blessings and the of not just Guru Maharaj, all the previous acharyas. Without any doubt, if you think that I gave this class, I would be foolish. Because I heard, because I've been hearing, and with the help of all the senior Vaishnavas, somehow we've got this purification and we're able to understand. It took me so much time to, read and how to pick up points. How is that Prabhu picks up? Then when you start talking to them, because of their blessings and what we call it as Krishna's glance through Guru Maharaj, we will definitely be able to uh, go through these vows, Mataji. I hope some clarification you got on this, and I would like Mathurapati Prabhu to share
Yeah,
more.
rightly said. So blessings are there. Every devotee should do his homework. So without doing homework, nothing will work out. You need to have your own breakfast. If I have breakfast, your stomach will not be filled. So
Guru Maharaj was saying that, no? Sadhana, you have to do. I can only pray to you. Chanting, you have to do. Nobody else can chant for you. So
we should personally feel that I am disciple, I am child of Guru Maharaj. And personally, we should feel that reverence, gratitude, responsibility. Then everything will come. Otherwise, it is only superficial. Yeah, I am also initiated devotee. For what? For not following Guru Maharaj's instructions or following? So it is up to you. Okay, we have done.
I just want
Yep.
to add 30 seconds. I recollect His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj always says, you write down in big, whatever, cardboard, they're sitting there, chanting is the most important activity of my day. So that it kind of really helps because you know that whatever you have some time in the office after lunch, you can prioritize, you can take the bag and quickly go for a couple of rounds of chanting that way, you know. So I understand people who go to office have a very tight schedule. So, but he always says, if you have your early morning sadhana and the evening sadhana perfect, so the in between goes through very smoothly, the office. I really like
Okay.
that for all the office goers.
Okay.
Yes.
Last couple of minutes activity with all of you. I just like to know by now how many rounds you have done. You can just post in the chat box. Let me see. How many japa rounds you have done so far?
Where is the chat box?
Meanwhile, I will be reading out Guru Prabhupada quote. Meanwhile, you please post how many rounds you have done. A devotee, 13th February, a devotee always accepts his distress as minimized by God's mercy. Although he would have to suffer many more times the suffering, anyone who accepts this philosophy of God's mercy in suffering conditions and still makes progress in Krishna consciousness, it is said that he is sure to go back home, back to Godhead. Letter to Guru Das, February 13th, 1968. So in spite of the difficulties, if we can able to get the mercy of the Lord, then he is sure to go back to Golok. Okay. Yes, Vrajanath Prabhu, can you read out?
Yes, Prabhu.
And how many
So,
rounds?
yeah, without any doubt, as expected, His Grace Mathurapati Prabhu has completed his prescribed rounds. He doesn't stop with that.
Plus
Yeah.
Gayatri Mantra and Bath also.
Okay. So with all these three, Asha is completed 12 rounds. Asha Mataji. Naglakshmi Mataji is completed 6 rounds. Thank you, Mataji, for writing. Annapayani Mataji is completed her 16. Haribol. 5 rounds by Abhilasha Mataji. Very nice, Mataji. Bhagavatpati Mataji, 9 rounds. Sheila and Ashok Mataji have completed 10 rounds.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
One devotee has come here and
Yeah. Please.
quitting, you can close the session.
Yes, Prabhu. Sure. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Bhupalak Prabhu and Sudha Mai Mataji have completed 8 rounds. Aparna